Hi there, thanks for joining us again. Dr. Rodney White with Sapa Chiropractic, and this is our third and final video in our auto insurance and injury series. I'm here with Shawn Benge from State Farm again, and he's just lending us some of his insights. So if you've been watching the first two videos, you remember last week we talked about what happens if you go past your med pay, which is basically the insurance that covers all your bodily injuries, and if you're not at fault, we talked about how to collect from the other insurance company. Now, something you've got to look out for that Shawn touched on was if you're not at fault, you've been rear-ended, let's say you had to go to hospital, couple of scans, you've already used all your med pay, and then you're coming to someone like us because you've got whiplash injuries, and your bill might end up, your total medical expenses could be $6,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is. The other insurance company of the at-fault person will tend to want to try and settle with you. So, Shawn, do you want to run through with the viewers what normally happens in that case and why?
Right. Well, so when we're talking about an accident and you're not at fault, so you filed a claim through another insurance company, many times what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to settle that claim or finalize that claim as soon as possible. There's multiple reasons for that, obviously, is that they do want to finalize everything and know where they're at as far as what they owe as far as payments or medical bills. The issue with that is once you finalize that claim, many times that could be the end of payments that you are going to receive for that. So
if someone accepts a settlement, that's it.
Well, if the claim is closed, what you'd have to then do, if you let's say you back flared up in 3 months or 6 months down the line, and you feel like it's from that same accident. Now at this point, you're going to have to try to get that claim reopened, which I would think would be difficult. And then the second thing is obviously you're going to have to prove that now this pain is from that same accident that maybe happened somewhere in the future.
Which is hard to do. And so we always recommend to our patients, the science behind whiplash and these kind of injuries is that up to 12 months as a minimum after an accident, even if you've been pain-free for 6 months, you can still suffer flare-ups of pain and symptoms from the injuries that occurred. So we recommend to all of the patients who come to us, no matter how long you've been pain-free, do not settle or close the case or accept any financial amount until it's been 12 months. To us, we say since you were pain-free, or at least 12 months since the injury. And definitely don't accept, and I'm sure Shawn will attest to this, if the other insurance company offers you any kind of money, even if it seems higher than what you'll use, they're pretty tricky. They know off their books the average whiplash treatment and things like that. They'll make it sound better for you now because they know on the back end it's going to cost them more. So do you recommend to your clients to never accept a settlement unless they've been fully released?
Well, I think, yeah, definitely in a case of bodily injury, you want to discuss that with your doctor, making sure that he's finally going to sign off on your treatments. Yeah, I think that, they're going to send you a legal piece of paper. So unless you're having an attorney or somebody look at that and really dissect what that means, I think it's best to, listen to your doctor and what path he's trying to do with your treatments.
Right. So even if a client of yours called you and said, hey, Geico Insurance was the other person's insurance, they're offering me a settlement, you would always say no or talk to an attorney?
Yeah, that's usually what I would say. I would say, yeah, I would maybe hold off on that.
Okay. And if you ever are in need of an attorney, it can be a tricky minefield. There's a couple of really good personal injury attorneys that we do refer to when we need to, but the majority of them we've found are very difficult to work with, and people have some trust issues with them, and from their experience I can't disagree with them. So the times you might need an attorney are when you've been hit by someone else and their insurance is not wanting to pay, or the case is bigger. So Shawn, why don't you let the viewers know what else can be covered? Because most people think my car is covered in an accident, and that might be it. Some are now aware they have a med pay to cover bodily injuries.
Right.
What else can be covered?
Well, so some of the thing that an agent and what we're really concerned about are called liabilities, right? So we never know when something's going to happen at a weather event or an accident or something like that. And speaking about an accident, you don't know if you're in an accident who's involved. I mean, what kind of vehicle did I hit? Who's driving that vehicle? Are they injured? right? What are my responsibilities? Well, quite frankly, you could hit a Cadillac Escalade, an $80,000 vehicle, right? I total that vehicle out. I'm responsible to pay for that vehicle. That driver could have bodily injury. It could force them to not be able to work for an extended period of time. Whereas if they're to bring a lawsuit against you, now your insurance company is responsible to the limits that your coverage is. And if it's above that, ultimately you're responsible to make those payments.
So that's one case you would need an attorney. And then if we flip that, a lot of people don't know. We see people who are in an accident and they can't work for a certain period of time. So you have a right to chase loss of wages, right?
Yeah.
Also pain and suffering. So these are some times where if you do feel like you need to chase those things, that's where a good attorney will help you. So hopefully you found this series useful. Please share these videos with anyone you know who has been or might be in an accident, because the more knowledge we have, the better armed we are. We appreciate Shawn's time with these, and we'll have his details in the comments below. If you have any insurance questions, don't hesitate to reach out to him. He's our insurance agent. We trust him very implicitly, so you're not going to go wrong there. If you have been in an accident and you're still suffering from injuries, then call us if you think we could help at Sapi Chiropractic, and we'll certainly assess you and see what we can do. We'll see you next time.